Happy Saturday. So today I actually want to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to me because it's something that I've experienced. It's really the basis for why I'm doing this. It's why I'm creating this content. And that is, how do you build your confidence back after you've had a big failure, a huge embarrassment, a massive setback of some kind? What I think a lot of people don't fully appreciate, like, for example, what I went through, not only do they take your money, they take your reputation, they take you away from your family, they take away your liberties, they take away your right to vote, they take away so much. And what happens when something like that occurs? Now, it's not necessarily specific to a prison story or somebody who's gone through this experience. It could be your business has failed, like the video I made yesterday, struggling entrepreneur with a failing business and not knowing how to navigate it. What it does is it wrecks your confidence, but because you allow it to wreck your confidence, and you allow it to wreck your confidence because you have placed your identity in that thing, in the result that other people expect or that you want other people to see. And so the first step to overcoming this type of confidence hit is realizing that you are far more than your net worth. You are far more than the car you drive. You are far more than that business you're building. You are far more than the career that you have or the job title or the company that you work for. You should be able to walk into a room confidently without any of those things. And so really the question is, it comes down to self-love. Like, how do you truly see yourself? And so there are a couple things I jotted down earlier today. I think these could be more well thought out or more fleshed out, but these were occurring to me as I was thinking about this video and on a drive early this morning. And so when things don't go our way, we're given an opportunity for transformation. And the example that I was thinking about was the Great Chicago Fire, right? And I love the architecture of Chicago. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And the Great Chicago Fire was total devastation. But what did that make room for? It made room for what we have today and what we get to enjoy in the beautiful architecture and the gorgeous city. And none of that would have happened. Maybe it would have happened in a different way. We don't know. But unlikely that we would have that wonderful city if the prior citizens did not go through such a horrible event. So when we have this devastating thing, it is an opportunity to introspect. It's an opportunity to look within and to consider, okay, here's what's happened. I'm accepting this. How do I rebuild? But not just rebuild my life, but rebuild myself. And the process of rebuilding yourself requires change, right? If you want to change your life, you must actually change. You can't just continue to do the same things. You have to do things that are super uncomfortable or different. And I have a short list here of some of the things that you can do. The first one, and why this matters, this is like super important. It is to concentrate on stacking small wins. And I know a lot of people talk about this, but it's very important. So quitting all of your vices. And the way that you do this is just deciding that you're no longer that person. So for me, it was alcohol. I love to party. I love to drink. I love to go out. I love to indulge, go to expensive restaurants, all this stuff. And this was before everything in my life had happened. I was bloated. I was out of shape. I lacked discipline. I would struggle with anxiety, all of these things. And then my life crumbled. And because I was doing all of that, the anxiety level was through the roof. My stress level was through the roof. But what happened after that was I decided I wanted to get better. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't handle the pain anymore. I just said, look, this is it, or I'm going to rebuild, and I'm going to rebuild in a beautiful and meaningful way. And I'm going to step closer and closer every day to who I truly am. And that's a difficult process, but it starts with that decision. I decided I don't drink anymore. That's not who I am. I'm not that person. So eliminating those vices, whether for you it's food or women or drugs, whatever, cigarettes, doesn't matter. It's deciding that you're no longer the person who does that, no longer the person that engages in those activities. And what that does is it helps clear your mind, right? So we're trying to build a house here on a solid foundation. And if your mind is unclear, if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with depression, if you're struggling with negative self-talk, all of those things are just going to amplify that. You have to eliminate that. That is, in my opinion, that is step one. Step two is forgiving yourself and others. So it's forgiveness generally, but you have to, I struggled with this for a long time. I would beat the shit out of myself, beat myself mentally, right? My self-talk was absolutely terrible. And, our thoughts become our feelings become our words become our actions, and our actions become our habits, and our habits become our life, right? So what was happening is I was manifesting negative shit in my life, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And so I decided, I'm going to forgive myself. And to be honest, it's a process. It truly is. And if you ask me, do I truly forgive the people who I believe in my life have wronged me? I want to say yes. I definitely want to say yes, but it's not that easy, right? It's not always that easy, I should say. I have chosen to forgive them, but if I was confronted with them right now, if they were in the room, would I have some things to say? Probably would, right? But it's trying to move beyond that. And I think the most important thing is because forgiveness is for you, right? It's not for the other person. It's for you. It's so that you can move on. That's a critical step. And that honestly, I think just takes time. At least it did for me. Other people might be able to say, yep, you know what? I'm over it. I've moved on. But when something is truly catastrophic and you believe that other people had a hand in that, then it can be more difficult. But like I said, forgiveness is for you, not for them. And so then the next one is to begin to stack wins in your life. And stacking wins comes from the foundation of everything I just said, but then it's doing things that you should be doing, right? Your gut tells you should be eating right. You should be eating right. You should be exercising. You should be challenging yourself and engaging in work that brings you meaning and purpose. But we don't. We just accept our average bullshit circumstances. And so what I decided to do while I was away, I could have been an inmate. I could have been a prisoner. And now, as someone who's on the other side of this, I could be a white collar felon. But no, I'm a white collar fucking savage, is what I am. They have unleashed the savage in me. And that is because I've taken this opportunity to turn myself into that person. And the way I do that is I stack wins. I wake up early. I focus on my mind. I exercise. I engage in work that I find meaningful. And I pay attention to the things that matter to me, like my wife and my family and my work. And then finally, the next real step is getting comfortable enough with where you are in your journey to lean into the work that you enjoy and to go all in on that thing, whatever that thing might be. Because once you have a solid foundation, you can emotionally dedicate all of your time, energy, brain power to whatever that one thing is. And for me, I've decided that that one thing is to teach and to share my experience and hopefully bring value to others. Those are the things that I would do in the event that I needed to rebuild my confidence. I took a big hit, something went wrong. That's how I would handle it. I hope that helps.